welcome to another episode of Black Businesses Matter. Well, this afternoon, I am overjoyed because one, I'm here with you all live. I am live on LinkedIn, I'm live on YouTube, and it's been a while since I've been live. We wanted to do this because this week celebrates National Small Business Week, and we thought it was important to highlight some small businesses in Chicago. And we have them here today to talk about their businesses and obviously to be able to connect with you more. I am Larvetta Lofton, and I am the host of Black Businesses Matter. And I am also the founder of the L3 Agency. We are a full-service marketing and communications firm in Chicago, and we really help to amplify positive stories for brands to drive impact. And so we've been doing that for now close to 23 years. And most recently, we launched our podcast to really help to ensure that our goal is to make sure that there is a Black Forbes list coming soon, because we believe that we have started businesses merely because one is we started them for a number of reasons. One is we were let go from a company, or perhaps we want to create legacy. And that's typically what our Black businesses are doing. But those stories have not been told in a way that allows for you to connect to the founder, the visionary, and get their why, so that as you purchase, that you understand the work that they're doing and that they're creating generational wealth. And so we think that it is important. And so my guest that I'm bringing up is Eric Williams of the Silver Room. I'm excited to bring him because he is all about collaboration. And so we get to be able to talk to him to talk about this Shop L1 Chicago here in Chicago. And I think I mentioned to you all, we're headquartered in Chicago. And we want to bring positive stories. We hear all this stuff in the media about this, that things are happening in this amazing, beautiful city. But we want to showcase these amazing, outstanding business owners that are helping to shape a positive narrative. So I am going to bring Mr. Eric Williams up so that he can talk to us about the Silver Room and then about Shop L1. Hey, Eric, how are you?
Hey, how are you doing? Good to see you.
I'm good. It's so good to see you. I see you, Eric, but you be moving. So I've never seen you sit still. Just for the record, I've never seen you sit still.
You got me now.
I got you today. I got you for a few minutes. So I'm excited that you are on this special show, because this is a special show that we created for what you're doing with Shop L1 and other businesses. So Eric, before we get started, the one thing that I like to start off before we start to talk about all this business stuff is who was Eric as a little boy?
Well, I was born a poor Black child. So I'm actually from Robbins, Illinois. I don't know if you know Robbins.
I didn't know that. Get out of here.
I was born in Harvey.
Yeah, no, but you know who else is from Robbins?
Dwayne Wade, Kiki Palmer lived across the street from me, actually.
Yeah, Kiki Palmer. So I worked with her several years ago. I didn't know you were from Robbins either.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Eric. Okay.
So her mother was good friends with my sister, actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at all this. Look at all this power coming out of Robbins, Illinois.
Yeah. And my father owned a bar called Maddie's Blue Room. So everybody know Maddie's, right?
I love it, Eric. So what were you like as a child?
I mean, I grew up in a bar helping him out. So I think at an early age, I saw music, arts, and culture. Herb Kent was one of his first DJs back in the day. So I just, looking back in hindsight, that was very natural for me to do what I do now. Because I saw the love it brought, the spirit it brought to, Robbins is not a rich community by any stretch, So it was not a lot that we had out there, but we had a lot of fun. And my father always told me to make sure you always have fun no matter what.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And growing up there, then fast forwarding to being the kid, a teenager in the '80s, got really into house music, started DJing, and kind of took that into part of my craft, and I actually majored in finance at UIC. So I was at UIC. I started to be very fascinated by this market down in Maxwell Street. And so I started selling t-shirts. So that's kind of how I paid my tuition through colleges by selling t-shirts. And I quit finance and I became a street vendor. I did that for like 10 years. So I was selling t-shirts and sunglasses and all the stuff. So this whole Maxwell Street thing, and then this, music thing I was into, all my friends were artists. And fast forward about 10 years, when I opened the store up, I wanted to have the store still reflect my two passions, which are entrepreneurship and music and arts and culture. And that's what the Silver Room is.
Yeah. And so who would have thought, right, that this street vendor could build this amazing store. And I think what your store does bring, it brings people together. You come in there, you run into someone that you may see walking down the street, but you really do bring people together in there while we're shopping. And I think that's what also makes it very unique. From the greeting cards to the books, to the t-shirts, to the jewelry. It's just that space. For those of you all that are listening, the Silver Room is in Hyde Park, in the downtown part of Hyde Park. And so we just want to talk about the L1, this collaboration. So before we move to that, Eric, the Silver Room, where is it located? Because there's so many people that don't know where the Silver Room is.
1506 East 53rd Street, Hyde Park, that's Southside Chicago. The store started off actually on the north side. So I was in Wicker Park for 17 years.
Yeah.
And I moved south. I've been south for about 8 years. So we just celebrated our 25-year anniversary back in December. Yeah.
And so, Eric, I remember when you were up in Wicker Park, and so many people, you hear people be like, oh, when we were there, this is what happened. Oh, we were there. So now 8 years later, does this feel, obviously you're from Robbins, but does this feel home for you, even though you started in Wicker Park?
Yeah, for sure. We go through life at different parts of our life and our age. And, when you're 20 something, that means something at that time. Me being my age now, it's different. So people ask me that question. I say, the 17 years in Wicker Park, it made sense. I loved it at that point, the time of my life. Now at this point in my life, I love being out here. But yeah, it feels like coming home. It's definitely more important. It's more impactful in many ways, having a retail space that the community really kind of gets into. So yeah, I love being out in Hyde Park.
Yeah, and we are so happy that you are in Hyde Park because our office is in Hyde Park. So for us, we frequent the Silver Room for all of our kind of gifts, novelty, and some of the stuff is to indulge in our own retail therapy. So, and I think that's the one thing that the Silver Room does provide is the businesses that are in Hyde Park, a place for us to go and purchase gifts and purchase. Because I frequent it when I need to get a birthday gift or, a bridal shower gift or just a number of things. I think that was what's missing, Eric. And I felt like when you came here, I love that you said in my 20s, it was work. Now today, because we should be evolving. Mm-hmm. And so I want to talk about your latest, because you have several endeavors. But I do want to talk about the Shop L1 Chicago. Mm-hmm. I want to talk about what it is, why it is important now more than ever, because we're celebrating National Small Business Week. And we started off with you guys. So I want to talk about Shop L1 Chicago.
Sure. So L1 is a collaboration between University of Chicago, Arts and Public Life, which is a division of University of Chicago, which focuses on arts over in Garfield Park. So they would have this thing called Vends and Vibes, which they would invite out a lot of local vendors to come and vend for Christmas. And I think from that, they saw the demand. They had really, really great vendors. A lot of people wanted to do it more than just one day. And so I think that's kind of where it came from. And on top of that, you have people come out, they sell their wares, and then that's it. So the idea was that how can we give them some more guidance, give them some more resources? And for me, being a 25-year-old, retailer, how can I be a mentor of sorts to these vendors? So we had a call, and I think we had about 50 or 60 applicants, and we selected 3. So this is the second cohort. The first year we did the cohort, it was middle of COVID, so some of it was virtual. But then we did have a physical space. And then this year is the second year doing it. So my job is to kind of, I didn't really have a lot of mentors growing up, in retail. You don't know what to do. This is a mistake over here. I got $10. What should I do with this $10? Should I buy more products? Should I advertise? You know what I mean? So I'm kind of there to kind of give them feedback, give them guidance on how to run a physical retail store.
That's incredible, Eric. It does bring joy to, I think it does bring joy to the community. And quite frankly, right, we are sick of traveling outside of our community. Let's be real. So the fact that we can go somewhere, and just for the record, guys, there's free parking, I believe, over there. Is it still free parking over there where Shop L1 will be?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I say that because, that's always an issue in Chicago, Eric. It's like, will there be free parking? So the fact that so Eric, what I want to tell everybody, you guys are going to hear more from Eric Williams of the Silver Room. He's coming back to our show. We're going to interview him. We just wanted him to come and literally tell us about L1. And now I'm going to bring the feature businesses that he's mentoring to really talk about, why this was important for them after being selected out of, what did you say, 60 applicants?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
60 applicants that they got in. And so they're powerful that they're able to get in. And so, Eric, I'm going to see you I think next week, and we're going to be interviewing you to talk about all of your endeavors and really dig into who you are as a collaborator in this space of retail and the number of things that you're doing. This is just a small portion of what you do, but we get to hear the whole story of Eric Williams. So thank you, Eric. And I'm going to bring in our next small business, and I'll see you real soon. Okay, Eric? Thanks again.
No problem.
Okay. Bye-bye. So guys, I'm excited to bring our next business owner, which is Jamica Harper. And guys, let me just tell y'all that this girl is just calming and just dope. And she has an incredible candle business called Red Elephant Candle Company. She has, we had the pleasure of interviewing her recently, but I can't tell y'all when that's coming out. It's coming. So you need to make sure that you have the Black Businesses Matter podcast in your phone, whether it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, so you can check out and hear the story of Jamica. But today, we have her here to talk all things candle, but more so wellness. She's a wellness girl. So Jamica, welcome to our first National Small Business Week show. Hi. Hello. It's so good to see you. Like video, right? I know, Jamica. So tell the folks about this candle business. How people, first of all, before we move into the candle business, she tells you how she came up with this idea. You're going to have to wait to listen to her story. But I definitely want to talk to you about being a part of Shop L1 Chicago. Mm-hmm. Eric mentioned that it was 60 applicants, and 3 of you all were selected. So clearly you were special. Okay. Yeah. And special for such a time as this. So I would love for you to say, what does this mean for you?
It's just gratitude. Yeah. I'm so grateful. And you feel like, oh, little me, there's nobody seeing me. I'm not going to get noticed, whatever. Somebody else is better than me. But when you get it, it makes sense. Like, okay, no, I need to keep going. This is amazing. So I'm ever so grateful to be in this space and, to have this opportunity to even bring forth into the community. So, yeah.
Yeah. And so what can people expect when they come into your space at Shop L1 Chicago?
It's just good energy. That's just it. It's just nothing but it's amazing scents. As soon as you walk in, you're going to get hit with amazing aroma, but it's just the energy that's in there. The vibe is different, and it's just we're in the space now, making it more of it's cozy. So you're just able to even come in, even if you don't buy anything, just come in and just say hello.
Nice.
And it's just a safe space.
It's a safe space.
Yeah.
It's a safe space. So you know I'm gonna ask this question because I asked you this before. What's the number one candle? Top selling candle?
Ashe.
Ashe. And so Ashe came from who? Who was the number one? Where did that name come from?
It's most of like when I make, I make at night. So we spoke about this already. So when I'm at night, and and I was speaking over my candles. I was just speaking. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just these two scents just went really well together. And then I was just talking over my candles and just speaking over myself. And then I said Ashe as I was blending, and I said, "Well, this is what it's gonna be," and so it is, and that's it.
And Ashe is the top selling candle, guys.
It's the top selling candle.
The top selling. So I mean, it's National Small Business Week, and you can get you a candle. And the other part of her business, guys, if you're listening, is that she will have candle making workshops and that. So she wants to do it outside. She's, so she's working on that. But let's talk to us about the candle making. I know you just recently did one, but share with them how they can find out about it, come into the store. Like, when is the next candle making class?
The next candle making class will be in May, TBD on the date. But you can stay updated through my Instagram or my website.
Okay.
Or you could just come into the store. Have to have something generated so that you're able to even make purchases through the store.
Okay. So you could go to your Instagram at Red Dot Elephant Candle Company to learn about it if that's something you're interested in. We know Mother's Day is coming up. Guys, getting a candle for mom, or getting a candle for a new mom, or getting a candle for yourself as a mom who could be a mom of children, plants. I'm a plant mom. So plants, right? A mom that's a furry. So it's moms. We've learned that moms is a whole lot to say, right? It's children, it's plants, it's pets, right? It's caregiving, it's all of that. So we now realize that there's a space now, a safe space for us to be filled from that standpoint. And so I want to ask you here is, what is the one thing, or what's your morning routine?
Oh, morning routine. I get up, I say thank you for breath and body.
Okay.
And then I go out and I stretch and do a little exercise.
Okay.
And then I come in and then I get my daughter up.
Okay.
Get my check going, light my candle, and then I'm washing my face and just putting intentions into my day.
Okay. All right. And that's your morning routine. Now you do that every day?
I do that every day.
Well, dang, that's why we gotta get in her space, guys. Like, she got things. Okay. See, on Mondays I'm right, Tuesdays I'm another. And then I'm gonna ask you one other question, because we're from Chicago and we're talking. So are we Chicago Sox, Chicago Cubs?
All right. I'm Sox because I'm South Side. I'm just gonna keep, because I'm from South, but I'm Sox because I'm South Side. So we're just gonna keep that in there.
All right. So we got the Chicago Sox fan in the building. That's going to be, so you all, when you come to the Shop L1 Chicago, what is the address again? We need to make sure everyone knows the address.
It's 319 East Garfield, and it's literally right under the Green Line. It was actually the first train station in Chicago. So
that's what you told me. It was. I didn't realize that it was the first train. That in itself,
I didn't know that. I was like, whoa, like, wow. The more you know. Good for trivia.
Good for trivia, the more you know. And we know that you are a White Sox fan. We know that. And we know you have a serious morning routine. So we know that. And so that in itself is this. I've got one more question.
Okay.
Who would you like to be if you were stranded in an elevator? Who would you like to be on the elevator with?
Oh, okay. I would like to be Oh, it's so many. I'm gonna say Nina.
Nina?
Uh-huh.
Nina
Simone.
who? Nina
Simone.
Simone. Okay. You
Yes.
to be strength. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm gonna throw this out at you, Jamica. Don't get mad, but I feel like you gotta make a candle for Nina. You gonna have to make a candle. I didn't gave it to you. I've given it to you.
You didn't challenge.
Because for us, for the Nina Simone fans, I feel like you're gonna have to. I'm just saying. Okay. That's all. I'm just saying. I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there.
Say less.
Okay. I'm putting it out there. So tonight, when you're making your candles, I need Nina to come up in your spirit.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you so much, Jamica. I'm so excited for you and the Red Elephant Candle Company. Guys, her Instagram is red.elephantcandle.co. Go to shop. You can also learn about all the businesses there at Shop L1 Chicago and at Arts Public Life. Guys, this week is National Small Business Week. Make it your business.
Shop
small. All right. Thank you so much, Jamica. I'll see you soon. Okay. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, guys. I'm having fun with this. This is my first time doing this, guys. So I hope everybody is really enjoying this because I certainly am enjoying this. So what I want to share with you, if you're just tuning in for the first time, it is National Small Business Week. I like to just come in and just do a little bit of midweek because you're seeing people coming in and out. What we are doing is today is National Small Business Week, or kicks off National Small Business Week. And we wanted to feature some small businesses, on the South Side of Chicago through this collaboration of Shop L1 Chicago through Eric Williams of the South Silver Room. So out of 60 applicants, these 3 businesses were selected to be featured in there to sell their products inside of that. And I am super excited because next, we have Samantha, okay, who's got this Balm, the Balm, okay? So I'm going to introduce Miss Samantha Joe, all right? All right.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Hi, I am so good. How are you?
Good. And I'm having fun, Samantha. I'm having fun today.
I heard you said this is your first time. You are surprising me. I thought you're a pro. You are doing it.
And let me say this. I always find joy when I get to be amongst business owners. It's like I'm over here in my nerves, like, oh my gosh. And then I get you guys and I'm like, they are so phenomenal. They just calm my nerves. You really calm my nerves. So
thank you.
I'm excited. Now, so Samantha, when I say Samantha Joe's Balm Yard, you got to tell the people what that really is. Because, when we look over here, we like, okay, I got some lip balm. I got some bath balm. So you got to tell the people what Samantha Joe Balm's Yard is.
Yeah. So I'm going to start with what a balm yard is, because a balm yard is an actual thing. It's a place. And during the pandemic, I found myself reading a lot of books, and I stumbled upon Zora Neale Hurston's book, Tell My Horse. And in the first chapter of that book, she talks about balm yards and balm yards in Jamaica. And so these spaces were meant for healing and rituals, for you to see your elders, for you to practice divinations, for you to come to find or connect with some sort of healing, right? And so during that time, pandemic, lockdown, a lot of us needed a lot of healing. And I found myself needing a lot of tools and things that I just needed for baths and just to cleanse myself. And as I was making those items for myself, I started sharing it with my tribe. And it just grew from there. And then I realized I have my own balm yard that's being created out of really nothing. So that's how Balm Yard got started, and that's what a balm yard is.
And so for the people who are slow, you got people okay. All right. I got people, and I sometimes am in the back. Okay. So when they experience the Balm Yard in L1, what are they getting?
Yeah. So when you come to experience Balm Yard at the L1 shop, you are experiencing a collection of condition oils. You are going to experience a lot of books about different types of spiritual self-help books, practices. You're going to see a lot of bell hook books, that's for sure, a lot of Zora up in there. And you're going to have an experience with a lot of different textures and different pieces, because I also have a vintage decor collection to my apothecary and botanica. So if you want any dishes to put your sage in, there's a collection of things just happening. It's a collective of things. That's how I kind of call my apothecary.
And the way that what I'm getting to is that Samantha's this is Samantha's curated Samantha Joe's Balm Yard. You've curated a space for individuals to come in there to support, right? Because you're literally helping them to support whatever they're doing around books, cookbooks.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
this space really is what I'm getting at. And I know I haven't talked to the third business, but tell me if I'm getting this. This is Small Business Week. So as business owners, we don't always take care of ourselves, right? I'm not going to say everybody, but sometimes we don't. So what I'm hearing is this is a space where you will get to reach to talk to the curators, these visionaries, and you get to support them. But more importantly, you feel energized. Am I feeling that? Am I feeling that? Okay, that you're going to feel
Yeah.
energized. And knowing that you are on 55th Street in the Hyde Park Steel Corridor, right? I feel like Hyde Park is stretching out now, finally, right? Samantha, it's like we are not just on 53rd Street, because I feel like everybody feels like it's just 53rd Street. Now it's 55th Street. So I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm excited to have you there. So, what are the hours? I know we haven't talked about the hours. What are the hours?
So the hours are it's Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 7. And there was something that you said earlier talking to Eric when you said often we have to travel outside of our communities to find different spaces that align with us. And that's what I'm wanting to bring to the community on the South Side, because a lot of people, they find different botanicas and apothecaries all over the city, and there's not enough on the South Side, and especially not enough on the South Side ran by people that look like us. And that is something that I'm wanting to add to the community. So when I'm having a challenge is introducing that to the community, and then to a community that has had its own spiritual practice for so long. And not a lot of people are open to being expansive outside of that. So I'm wanting to open my space in having people learn about all different things and different healing techniques, because there are so many ways to reach that part of our lives and so many different routes that we can take, but we don't talk about all of them because we think of everything as so taboo. So that is something I've wanted to tell community, and this is such a great platform to get that out and saying, don't be afraid of what you may see, and don't write it off right off the bat, because it needs to exist for a lot of different reasons outside of ourselves.
Yes. And I'm
Yeah.
glad that this is available to us today. When we think about, and so when we think about this, so I'm excited. I know that we have a short amount of time, but I've got to ask you questions, because
Yes.
I want to make sure that everybody understands that when you're listening to this, bring your family, bring your kids, because what she's saying is that this is important for our young people to see this as they evolve into human beings and contributors to the world. So while you bring to your friends, and we love that because we want all the business, but don't leave your family. Bring your family out to feel that energy, to know that, oh my gosh, she looks like me, and so that's important, especially now. Tell me something. What's the last book you read?
The last book I read, I'm always reading 2 to 3 books at one time. I like to pick up a book and put it down, pick up a book and put it down.
I'm the same way. I'm the same.
Yeah.
So what was the most recent book that you just opened?
The most recent book the most recent book I was browsing through was Jambalaya by Louisa Tesh. And I read that book a few times, and I have a mentee that I gave that book to start her spiritual journey. And so I found myself going back and rereading a lot of her quotes in that book. So Jambalaya, that's a really beautiful book.
All right, last question. What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Ooh. Most recently, because I am always given a lot of great advice from my elders. But most recently, especially with entrepreneurship, that is Small Business Week, is that a lot of those trigger points that are in our everyday lives is going to show up in our entrepreneurship and our partnerships that we build with other people. So it's best to deal with ourselves and learn to control our emotions and where we're at so we can be better business people.
Oh, that's good. That's good. All right, guys. You guys got to get more of her, Miss Samantha Joe's Balm Yard over at the Shop L1 Chicago, which is at, tell me the address.
319 East Garfield Boulevard.
319 East Garfield Boulevard. Check her out. This is National Small Business Week. Support this collaboration. And quite frankly, here's the thing. Do something different. Come to the South Side. Take the green line. Get off. Shop. Get you some food. Get back on the train and go back home. How about that? I just gave y'all.
Yes. Or stick around. We like when people stick around. Stick around.
I just wanted to get on the train, come to you all, support, get some food, stick around, and go back.
Yes.
The train, right?
There you go.
But Samantha Joe gonna make you keep her around. She's gonna she's gonna make you want to stay around. So we ain't got to worry about that, Samantha Joe. Thank you so much for being a guest of our first National Small Business Week of the Black Businesses Matter. I appreciate you. God bless you.
Ashe. Congratulations.
Okay, thank you. All right, guys, we are having so much fun. I'm sorry I'm running behind schedule a little bit, but that's okay, because the beauty of this is it's my show and I can do it, but I don't want to hold up my business owners because they out here making business. But I am excited to bring Mr. Keyon. Did I say that right, Keyon? Did I say that? Yes. I wanted to make sure I got it right because I did not want to mess up your business. And this is Hyde and Park Co. So guys, we've been talking about, we're in Hyde Park, which is on the south side of Chicago. So now we have this incredible business owner who's going to tell us a little bit about Hyde and Park Co. Hello, Keyon. Welcome to the show. Uh-oh, we can't hear you, Keyon. Are you on mute? Come on off mute. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Yes. So tell us about Hyde and Park Co. What is this? What is it?
Hyde and Park Co. Was started by me in the Hyde Park neighborhood in March 2019, and I started this company because I wanted more unisex, minimalist candles. And when I say unisex, I mean the scent. I wanted more unisex scented candles and minimalist jars. So I started this in March 2019 because, I had got a new apartment with my brother and I was looking for, something to put in there, and everything I was finding was fruity or floral. And then if it was marketed towards men, man candles, they were tobacco this or whiskey that. And I'm like, what's something for people who want something in the middle ground? And then I had the idea from my, business background I saw a problem and I saw something to fill, hole to fill. So that's how I started this.
I'm over here talking and getting myself muted. You saw a problem and said, "Hey, I can solve it." And that's what you did. So tell me this: are you a candle guy, Keyon? Are you a candle guy?
I'm a scent guy, so I love scents, but candles were never really my thing until I started this candle company. Even through starting this candle company, I'm starting to realize I like room sprays and wax melts more. But every now and then, I still light a candle, to set the vibe, because you can't. That vibe is unmatched when you have the flame flickering. Sometimes with the wooden wick, the audible noise. I think sometimes you can't, but I tend to use more flameless options.
That's so. A lot of yours are flameless because of the wax melts. Is that what you're saying?
I use more of the room sprays and wax melts, and I sometimes when customers come in and they're unsure, I ask them, do they have pets or do they have young children? Because candles can be a little tricky with that. I always tell them to go flameless options, but always have your space scented the way you want it to be scented. There's other options for you.
And let me say this. I love that you created something that was unisex, because I agree. Like, so typically you think about, a husband, wife. Wife wants to, and I'm not saying that this is always the case, but in some cases, right, the wife wants a more fruity. And sometimes the man wants a little musk, right? Yeah. So the idea of having unisex scents, I think is honestly, it's freaking brilliant, because homes are, typically there's, man and woman, or quite frankly, just differences, right? Whether it's roommates or, life partners, whatever you want to call it, but you could have a different sense. So I think the idea of having, we have unisex t-shirts, we've got unisex sunglasses. Why not have unisex scents? So I think it's a brilliant idea. So how did you come up with the name?
So I moved here from Florida, and my brother was already here. He goes to the University of Chicago, and so by default, he kind of stays in the Hyde Park neighborhood. So when I moved in with him, we just stayed in the neighborhood, and this is really the only neighborhood I've lived in, and I really love this neighborhood because it's so walkable. I get to see us around. I feel safe walking around. I have fun walking around. The grocery stores are nearby, so I just fell in love with the neighborhood, and I was like, well, let me give a shout out to the only neighborhood that I've known, but one of the best neighborhoods I've lived in my life.
So so we like to ask, we've been asking these questions in our challenge. And so I want to ask you, what article of clothing makes you powerful, or makes you feel powerful? I'm sorry.
I never been asked that question before. What?
That's okay. That's what we like. We like when people say that. We like, oh, good.
What article of clothing makes you? I don't know. You can tell a lot of person about their shoes. And I think it makes you feel powerful, but I think it lets you know about a person, what they do, what they like. If they got on a certain sneaker, you can tell that they're a sneakerhead, or they're very into their shoes, or certain heels. You can just tell they're a fashionista, or they've got on their work boots all the time. You can tell they're a blue collar, hardworking man. I think, I will go with shoes.
I think you're dope. I think that's dope, because I agree. I feel like, you could say a lot. I totally agree, even though we're in the sneaker game, but I think that even gives personality too. Yeah. So I think that that's dope. All right. I see that, you have a wellness product, because you have a product that helps people feel energized and feel good about themselves. So I want to ask you, what self-care practice brings you joy?
My cohort said, people at that one, self-care practice, making sure you get enough rest.
That's good. That's when I say, and so do you practice rest? I mean, because I think when you're young and you have this business, I feel like it's like, where I grew up, it was like all about the grind, right? You got to grind. But I love that you said, no, it's called grind and rest. Is that what you're basically, it's like, we can grind, but we got to get some rest?
Yeah, even though I subscribe to hustle culture, hustle and get your rest. I feel like that's very necessary. I'm very adamant about getting your 7 to 8 hours of sleep. If you don't get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep, make sure you scheduling time, which is key, scheduling the time, to take a nap throughout the day. Keep yourself energized. That's why I'm always happy. I'm very, very rarely in a bad mood. So, yeah, self-care, wellness.
Let me tell you something, Keyon. You just dropped a gem as we close out National Small Business Week. I mean, we kicked it off, but I'm saying closing out with your business. is because we've never, with small business, it's all about, winning. And I love that you said we can grind and rest and get our 7 hours of sleep. And so that's powerful. So guys, I just want you all. So when people walk into the L1, Shop L1 Chicago, they come over to Hyde and Park Co. Is there, can you tell them what they're going to get? Is there a number one selling product that people love that you think that people should come and catch and get?
When people walk into the space in the store where I'm located at, the number one thing they see is the sleekness. I have black black vessels with black labels, so they immediately they tell me they love the minimalist, the sleekness. My number one top seller is Spa Day, so I named it that because it gave you that feeling of being relaxed in a spa-like environment. So people really love that, and that's been my top seller, and candles and room sprays. So people really gravitate towards that.
That's dope. So guys, hold on. We're freezing. We froze a little bit. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you good, and I can see you.
Okay, we froze. I'm okay with freezing, guys. We're okay because we got this. So I'm gonna say this as we close. Keyon, could you tell us where Shop L1 Chicago is?
L1 Shop is at 319 East Garfield Boulevard, right under the Green Line tracks, right across on the south side from the entrance of the Green Line. So you'll see us right there. So
guys, for those that don't know, Garfield is 55th. Okay, because folks be like, well, where's Garfield? So it's 55th Street, guys, but it's also called as Garfield. So thank you so much, Keyon, for joining us today as we kick off National Small Business Week, and just congratulations to you for being selected to have your products in Shop L1 Chicago, and just more to come. And I can't wait to stop through because I will be through there. If not this week, next week, because I'm traveling, but I plan to be there and do some shopping because I love that you have unisex products. So thank you so much, Keyon. And continued success to you. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Well, guys, I'm just going to say this. We did it. We held our first show for to kick off National Small Business Week. And so we thank you guys for tuning with us. Please check out our podcast. You can hear more episodes of Black businesses across the country that are thriving and collaborating and building really dynamic businesses that, to me, are making an impact. If you're in Chicago, check out Shop L1 Chicago, which is at 319 East Garfield Boulevard, and shop small. I mean, that's the idea. Small businesses, make up, probably at 65-75% of major markets. So we want to make sure that we shop with them and support them and talk about them. So I'd love for you to share this episode with your friends or share with people because we are here to make sure to amplify positive stories that are being led by Black businesses and thought leaders and change makers. So again, my name is Larvetta Lofton. I'm the founder of the L3 Agency and the host of Black Businesses Matter. I thank you for tuning in and watching our episode today in support of National Small Business Week. I just want to thank, Eric Williams for his vision to collaborate these businesses. And again, check out at Shop L1 Chicago and Arts Public Life. You can go visit some of their stuff so you can learn more information. Again, thanks for rocking with me. Till we see you again soon. Bye-bye.